Yeah, back in September of 2013, there was the Lambrecht auto auction. Close to 500 cars had been sitting in a field for years. About 50 of these had never been licensed. Had near 0 miles on them. They're sitting at the end of a row of 1963 and 64 and 65 Chevy half-ton trucks. Was a 1972 Chevy Cheyenne long bed. Had a 350 engine, 350 power glide transmission, and the best part was only 3.7 miles. And since I'm getting a lot further on this project, I thought it was time for a second video. One of the big concerns I had when I got this truck home was the condition of the motor. The carburetor had been taken off and had been off for years, and the intake was kind of a mess. It looked like a mouse maybe had built a nest in it, and I was just really concerned about what the motor was going to look like inside. But as we opened it up, I was really happily surprised that it looked really good inside, and everything was brand new. It still had the manufacturer marks on it. It still had the original oil in it. It was brand new, clean looking oil. It was just really impressive. And then I was really lucky. I had a mechanic friend that went through, and basically we just cleaned everything up and reused everything, put in new original style gaskets, and just cleaned it up and put it back together. And then I also thought this was cool, so I threw in a picture. The timing gear, back then some of them they used the nylon gear, and this one had nylon gear in it. I think they were a little more quieter, but I think I've heard they don't last as long, but either way I left it in. So one thing I ran into while working on my project was this 450 manufacturer's mark. It was on the firewall, on the inner cowl panel, and it was on the brake assembly, up out of sight. I replaced both the marks with a grease pin. And while I have a picture of the brake assembly up, you may wonder how I cleaned some of the rusty parts on this project. And this is not an advertisement, but I went through about 15 gallons of Metal Rescue. It works great for soaking parts that you don't want to damage or destroy with like media blasting or that stuff. You can see in the one picture the brake assembly where I soaked half of it and how well it cleaned that off. It says to soak it for 2 or 3 hours. Some of the rusty parts you may need to do overnight to work better. And many of the parts on this restoration were either missing or beyond repair, or in the case of like these lights, they're just faded and maybe would be okay for a daily driver, but they're not really looking very nice. So the whole time that I've been doing the restoration, I've been picking up everything I could find that I needed, at least. New tail lights and bumper marker lights and side lights. I was able to find an original air cleaner. It actually had the exact same part number. Washer bottle. The door handles on mine had rust on them, so that was not good. Just even little things. Backup lights. I was able to find a new gas lid. These are for the tailgate. And there's a door rubber. And a new AM radio. The one I had was missing parts and had quite a bit of surface rust. Thought it would be good to replace it. Also found a steering wheel. It's not brand new, but it's in really good condition. The center cap is brand new. So found some hubcaps. These have all been restored. Just what it came with from the factory. When I started on the cab, it had the rust in the normal areas, in the rockers and in the cab corners. But I also found under the inner cowl panel, it had rust from sitting in a field for 40 years. There was like dirt and debris that was packed in it, and it holds moisture. So the first step was that I media blasted the whole cab and got it cleaned out so you could see where the rust was. After removing the inner cowl panel, underneath it there was a pretty big rust area that had to be chopped out. And early in this project I bought a donor truck, so I had access to new materials, and so we chopped out this piece and was able to replace it with a new original part. And then the rest of the panels we cleaned up. Not was we, I cleaned up. So I cleaned up, and this is with the new panel welded in, all cleaned up. I had bodymen help me do all the welding. Then another good point was I was able to clean up the underside of the inner cowl panel. Got it all de-rusted and was able to put a coating on it, and a coating on the underside and around the vent area. And here's the cowl panel back in place, all welded in. Travis and Justin, thank you for your welding skills. So when I got to the rocker panels, the driver's side one was really in bad condition, and I was able to find factory rocker panels, replace the rockers, the inner rockers, and the cab corners. The passenger side wasn't really in very bad condition, but it had some start of rust and stuff, so while I was there I just took care of everything. One of the really cool parts about doing this truck was I had access to a pro spot welder that does these type of welds. They're factory style welds, so once the project's done you really can't tell the difference between it, the factory or whether it's been worked on. So at this point I have all the metal work, all the body work is all complete, and I'm ready to start priming. I've already applied the corrosion protection, and in this video you can see me putting on a white catalyzed primer. I used the highest quality products I could get, and here you go. So, and then this picture is of the bottom of the cab. You can see I spent a long time cleaning off everything, getting it all pearly looking. Didn't really have a lot of rust underneath or anything, just needed cleaned off. And then I put on a durable coating. It's the POR 15. Stuff's like a rock when it dries, so hopefully it should last for years. So this is how far I've gotten, and the very last picture you can see the color is original color. I enclosed it so you can see what the final truck will look like. And thank you for watching this video. I'd like to thank my daughter Julia for helping me in getting this thing put together. Without her it wouldn't have been possible. And watch for my next video, the final one. I'll have the motor running, the thing all put together, and hope everybody's excited to see it. Thank you again.